I like the fact that you did, indicate that earlier. History shows that usually elections are a two-horse race.
Yes.
The rest, for lack of better terms, seem to be escortees.
Yes.
If truly history is a guide,
Yes.
this election is between HH
and Brian Mundubile.
Oh.
Whether I belong to the UPND or I did not belong anywhere, I am experienced enough to see the two front runners.
You're experienced enough to see that these are the two front runners.
Yes.
What makes you think that he's the main challenger to President HH?
Well, you can see the optics. If he goes to file, and then you can see candidate A, B, C, I will not name them. If you see the number of people that goes to Mulungushi and you see the number, that alone will tell you that, okay, there's more attention there. If President HH passes here, you will see that whether he's president or not, the difference will be there. It was not difficult to see that President Michael Sata, were the closest when Pierre Banda was president. It was not difficult to see that President HH was the closest in 2015 and 2021, and he became president. It was not difficult to see that Michael Sata was the main contender to President Mwanawasa in 2006, and also that he was the main contender in 2008. People argue and say, where is the empirical formula that you are using to do that? Look, all I can say is that I'm experienced enough to see the two horses that are ahead. So I think that the UPND and the Tonse Alliance are in front there. There are many other political parties. I think that Citizens First is visible enough to be social. Yes, Socialist Party are visible enough. You do not know how the Zambian voters react to the messaging, but I think that I can see that although it's a crowded field, there is a UPND, there is Tonse, there is CF, there is the Socialist Party. I think beyond these four, we've got to see a surprise, and then the political science books will have to be rewritten if they will be outside these four that will be said to be the main contenders.
You've been quoted, and I'd like you to clarify whether that is also true. You've been quoted indicating, not too long ago, that Mundubile and Makebe are a formidable team. Is that correct? You were once quoted saying that.
Yes, it was in the context that there's no viable opposition whatsoever, and that the UPND was going to win by 95-98%. I wouldn't sit in a strategy team that thinks like that and agree that that is the case. That if two people in a fractured party came together, then they wouldn't form a force. So this was a fractured peer, and then they came together. So it became like a revival of the PF in another form. So if the PF has been the main opposition for the entire 5 years of the UPND, when it reunites, how can it not be a force you must pay attention to as people are planning election? It has fractured in many parts. If you see there's Honorable Mao Sampa, there's Honorable Chavinga, there's several pieces in there. But when they came together, you saw the largest number of PF people coming in one side. If you are a ruling party, you must pay attention to those dynamics. Yes.
You don't trivialize.
Yes, you don't trivialize that. That's the I think Honorable Kavimba talked about either side, that overconfidence in facing, when you're going to elections and you sound overconfident, you can be surprised. So when you are seated and looking at the statistics of victory, the history of how alliances are built and what constituted, when the UPND formed the UPND alliance, and people trivialize the membership of that thing. What was the result in 2021? because a consolidation of parties in one side consolidates efforts, reduces wastage and